J7D.
Yes.
What was the inspiration behind choosing that name?
Honestly, when I started Instagram a couple years ago, the name that I wanted was taken. So they gave me, that was like the name that they kind of referred to me, J7D. So I'm like, okay, cool. I just took it and rocked with it. Now J7D is my brand. It's became a brand. Everywhere I go, people know J7D. So and it's so crazy because they'll ask me like, is your name Jada or Jade? Or they'll try to like make it into a name and it's really not. It's just the brand. J7D is just the brand. But it works. It works.
So as J7D, what are like your goals that you want to accomplish?
I want to start, I'm in the process of starting a PR consultation business. I want to be the person who is known for collecting and connecting. That's what I do on the regular. So I just want to put it into a business. I'm in the process of putting all of that into a business because I already do PR for certain people. So I just want to be able to expand it and do PR for more people.
What things have you learned through all of your prior knowledge of like PR that you're planning to take into this new type of business that you're trying to go to?
To separate business from personal. I think a lot of people fail and fall because, like even me, I have a big heart. So it's hard for me I always go in like it's mine. That's why I always get hired too, because I always take it as it's mine. But I have to realize that business is business, personal is personal. You know, I have to separate the two, and that's the hardest thing, but that's the most important thing. Business is business, personal is personal. Do not don't mix the two. And not even saying like I'm not even talking like about dating the people. It's not even that. It's just like I get so attached, you know, like so, and I have to learn how to cut it off, and that's hard when you have a big heart.
What was another motivation behind creating these inspirational videos?
The inspirational videos came from, God had called me to a 7-day fast. Oh God, I was gonna cry. I didn't think he was gonna go there with it. He called me to a 7-day fast. Dang, my eyelashes, okay, cool. He called me to a 7-day fast and I kept delaying. So recently, I was in Philly on Easter, so that Monday, and then I said, you know what, I'll okay. And my fast consisted of turning my plate down until the evening time for 7 days and going out to a lake that I like to walk. So every day when I got to a certain point, it was like God would download something in me. And that's where those messages really came from. Like, I swear, people always think it's me, and it's not. Like, that comes directly from the creator, because I do not go out there with the intent on talking about anything. Like, I want to just get through my walk, and the walks come from separating business from personal. I always try to take that time for me now, like that hour a day or that 2 hours a day, however long I spend out there. And it's like every time I go out there, I see something, or there's a revelation in something. Like, in one of the videos, I talk about birds, because I kept seeing this yellow and black bird. First it started with the red bird. I kept seeing the red bird, and I saw one, then I saw two, then I saw like 7. So I'm like, okay, God, what do you want me to see in this? So I Googled it, and it was like, when you see a red bird, that means someone who passed along, you know, is coming to visit you. And I'm like, who could they be? 7 of them? Like, who? You know, like, so it's that type of thing. But the inspirational videos really come from my personal experiences that God is just giving me revelation over. Like, I had to go through this hard place to get to this point. I needed you to go through this heartbreak so you can understand and touch women who are going through heartbreak. I needed you to go through this part of abuse or deal with this part of abuse, verbal or whatever, even though mine never was physical, but I can relate now because I went through it. I'm more relatable because of the processes that I went through. So I think that's where those inspirational videos really come from, but they really do come mainly from God, y'all. Like, I be tripping after I watch them sometimes. Like the one where it says, deal with it before it deals with you. Literally last night it was a bug in my room and I kept hearing, yo, you better deal with it before it deal with you. Like, I'm like, oh God. Like, it's just my personal experience put into an inspirational message.
So it seems like you draw a lot of support from God, but how about like people that you're around? Like, do you draw support from them? Do they support you?
I think the people that I started with, let's talk about friends first, old friends. The people that I started with never understood why I went the way I went. Like, people used to always tell me, you think you better, you think you this, because I didn't smoke or drink. at the time. I still don't smoke, but I did start drinking at like 21. Well, probably a little after 21, but I was like a really clean girl. I believed in abstinence. I believed in not drinking. I believed in not smoking. So it did put me I put myself on a pedestal at times, and I guess it seemed like I was judging them for their lifestyles, but it wasn't me judging. It was just me knowing that I didn't want it. And I think that's just what it was for me. Like, I just didn't want it. I didn't want that lifestyle. I knew what it was like. I saw the outcome of getting pregnant in high school. I saw it. I saw the outcome of getting drunk, and I saw it. So it was like, I want something different. I want to take the risk of not knowing what my outcome will be. So people didn't like that, unfortunately. So I lost a lot of people, and I don't even say I didn't lose them. I just saw them for who they were, and they saw me for who I was, and it just kind of works that way. As far as family, sometimes it can be the same way. Like, literally, I was in Cashland. I was in Cashland working, and one of my cousins came in to fight me. Like, literally. And her exact words was, "You think you better." And once I heard it, I already knew, okay, a fight about to happen, because I ain't gonna be able to take too much of this. I'm not going to take it, especially because I know that's not how I'm carrying it, you know? So people will really attack your character just because you want more, or just because you want better. And that's always been my situation sometimes. Luckily, like, even with my grandmother, if I would have told my grandmother, like, straight out, "Grandma, this is what I want to do," she wouldn't have believed it. Her whole thing is working 9 to 5. Build up your 401k. Build this, build that, Social Security, da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, "Grandma, it's 2019. I don't want to do that."
Right.
And it took for her to see my success and see what I do. My grandmother comes to my shows now. It's a reason for that. She has to see it to believe it. And God showed her just what it was. Even with my mom, our biggest argument always is, I always tell her, "Mom, you don't know the vision that God placed inside of me. So you can't tell me how to pursue it. He didn't give it to you." Not a disrespectful thing. It's just, I knew I wasn't supposed to work a 9 to 5. I get fired from all of them. Why would God keep putting me in a 9 to 5? Like, it doesn't make sense. So my family, you know, it can be a little challenging, but they have to see it to believe it. That's just what it is. And I'm happy for that, because that makes me go a little harder too. Like, that, I got you.
You started giving a little bit of advice, and before we were talking about how you usually, you go out to different schools and you talk to, like, the kids and everything. So, let's talk about a little bit of that. Like, so what do you go to the schools to do specifically?
I manage A1 Chops. So before I let the guys perform, I always get on first and introduce them. And it's like we always see something that makes me speak even more. Sometimes, like, I really just be wanting to introduce the boys and keep it moving. But I'm always used in a different way. For example, we were at one elementary school, and a young lady, she got up there and she sung, right? And she messed up. And she messed up and ran off the stage. So I went back and got her and brought her back on stage with me, held her hand, and I told her the message that I would tell any young person, which is to keep going. And she starts crying, and I'm probably crying with her, and the boys come out and they hug her. But I needed her to understand that it's okay if you mess up. People see us as influencers and think that we don't mess up. We mess up 24/7. And it's like we mess up even more because it's so much pressure on us. Mm-hmm. Like, when my boys drop the sticks, I always tell them, pick them up, keep going. If it's too far away, okay, use your hand. Use your chin, use your elbow. We joke about that, but it's really real. Like, the show must go on. Forget your mess up. Everyone messes up. So that's the message that I always tell the kids, keep going. I tell anybody. I tell myself, keep going. Like, girl, you gotta keep going.
You said keep going a lot.
Yes.
But why do you believe in that message?
I think when you pursue your dream 100%, so much is going to be thrown your way. But the only people who reap the benefit of pursuing their dream are the ones who continue to go. I really, really believe strongly, like my Uncle Milton, he used to say to me, anybody can start, everyone can't finish. That's so real. I started college like 2 or 3 times. I never finished. GPA was always in the 3-point something. Professors never wanted me to leave. I never finished. You see what I'm saying? So I could start that, but I've never finished it. So I can't reap the benefit of the degree because I never finished it, even though I know all the work. You know? So I truly do believe you have to keep going in life, period. And that's just how God uses me. Like when things get really, really crazy, I hear in my spirit, keep going. Keep going. At least you're going through. At least you're on your way to what you see. Your vision, your dream, you're on your way to it. These hardships and things that are being thrown at you are confirmation that you're on the right path. Just keep going so you can see the end.
Why do you think that it's important that you help others?
Helping others humble you. Like we just did a FMG, I partnered up with them, Flawless Music Group, shout out to Ez. We just did a Day of Giving May 5th for the homeless. Between laughing, smiling, and ready to cry a little bit, because just to see, and it was raining. We stayed in the rain. We saw young women. I saw a little boy. He had to be about 2 or 3, soaking wet, clothes was dirty, didn't have anything, but still spirit was happy. These people had nothing and were still able to smile. We have a lot and we're mad. So to help others, it humbles you, humbles me, it can humble the world if we let it. Like just to not compare our life. You shouldn't compare because you really don't know the hell that the other person is going through. But you should be able to just appreciate where you are in life. And I think that's what helping others make me see. Like it helps me to realize, girl, it ain't that bad. Stop complaining, you know? Like someone else has it worse than you. Someone just lost a parent. Someone just lost a loved one. So that's what helping others.
What advice would you give to someone who is maybe contemplating like going out and doing like, community work or going out and bettering themselves, but don't exactly know where to start? Like what advice could you give them?
Start where you feel. Start where you feel. If you see yourself making clothes, okay, let's make a shirt. You wear your shirt. J7D is a brand because of J7D. Everywhere I go, I make sure people know, hi, my name is J7D. And I have to say this because I look at my sister. My sister is not really good with people. She always says her social battery is low, right? And that's cool. So if you don't want to talk to them, give them something. You ain't even gotta talk. Here's my card. Well, you didn't have to talk, but just start where you see and start where you feel. Like you know what you want to do. Just do it, kind of. Like just start where you feel. Like it sounds crazy, but just start where you feel. I would have never thought my life would turn into this if I would have thought about it too heavy. Like I don't even really think about it that heavy. I kind of just go wherever I feel. And that's how it turns into something even more. Even working with A1 Chops, I was just being me. Giving advice, literally, in Cashland, literally, to both of them separately. I started where I felt. Not even knowing that months later they would reach back out to me and say, hey, can you manage us? That wasn't where I started. I started where I felt. Okay, you're going down the wrong path, let me help you. So start where you feel.
So you're in all of these things, in all of these projects, building your brand and everything. But do you think that it's important to still keep your life like semi-private?
Yes, I think that's why I'm single as well, because my whole life is out there. So it's like my private life and dating, I would like to keep a little private. That's like my safe place. Dating should be my safe place. If I'm dating you, I should feel safe, protected, and kind of ducked off. Not saying that the world can't know that I'm dealing with you. And I think a lot of guys, I can be so hard sometimes that a lot of guys feel like they just don't have a chance. Most of them don't. And that's real. Most of them don't. But the people who do get close, I don't think they realize she likes me, so that's why I'm close. Because I don't really express that. I'm not, as much as I talk, I'm really not good with expressing how I feel about a person as much as I talk. So it can be a little weird dating me, and I know that.
Even with all that said, do you think that you will ever get married? Is that something that's on your radar?
I know for a fact I'll get married. I truly believe that my husband is coming. I believe that he's coming. I believe that he's successful. I believe that he's going to be a people's person. Maybe not a people. Well, I hope he's a people's person. My dad not really for the people, so I don't know if my husband will be, but I hope he is. I do believe that whoever he is, he gonna be like strong, like and powerful a little bit because of all the counterfeits that I've been getting. Let me give you an example. I worked at Payless literally for like a month maybe. I probably didn't even last that long. Out Columbia, I'll never forget it. And I worked there for the people that worked with me and the customers that I would get. I've helped a lot of those people, right? But this one particular night, I was a manager and I was closing the store, and God brought me right back to the front of the store and had me zoom in on a Shaq shoe. And he wanted me to understand, you see how this Shaq looks? What does it look like? And I'm like, a Jordan shoe. Shaqs look like thick Jordans, right? But it looked very, very similar. It was very, very close to Jordan. So God wanted me to understand personally, it's going to be a lot of men that's about to pursue you. You have to choose wisely because your husband may be in a mix, right? So if the counterfeits really look real sometimes, so by the counterfeits that I've been getting, I know my husband gonna be good. Like these guys that I meet are like powerful, they have businesses, they have this, but their heart posture not right. So I don't, like I just be like, nah, you can't be it. You look like you could be it, but I know you're not it.
What do you think are options that you need to take, and then how do you decipher from options that you should, kind of like throw away and, like that?
It's so crazy. Options is a word that always gets me in trouble, right? I remember I either was in 8th grade, middle school, or early high school, and this young lady by the name of Morgan, she said to me, her name was Morgan, oh my God. So her name was Morgan, and she said to me, I'm gonna call you Op. And I'm like, what? And she said, you got so many options talking about guys. She couldn't believe that I just had a lot of options, right? But what I'm realizing is, as I get older and as I continue with like my career, my options, people think that I have a lot of options because of who is pursuing me. But my options really are limited because I really don't like some of the people that are pursuing me. So it really puts me in like this, my options that I actually like gets a little small because, like I said, a lot of people talk a good game but don't live a good game. I don't need you to have a BMW or a Mercedes and your credit is in the 400s. So my options are not really that, and a good heart. Like, it's a lot that come with me, so I need you to match me. So that whole option thing, it's a song that I used to use the caption to. He said, I got options, I can pick and choose. You can pick and choose, but you really don't have a lot to choose from because a lot of people, as you get higher, it gets smaller. So when I was in high school, it was cool because I wasn't looking for much. I couldn't bring much. Now, as I'm climbing up the ladder, okay, wait, my credit going up, wait, this going up, wait, this, my money going up. So my options aren't that, I don't have a lot. I don't have it the way people think I had it as far as options with guys. Now, options with jobs, and I have a lot of that. As you go up, everyone wants to attach themselves to you, and that's even with dating. So I have to keep my eye open for that. Like, why are you really pursuing me? What do you think you can get out of this? Perfect example, when I worked for Cashland and guys would try to pursue me, and if they would talk about the owner, I couldn't deal. Because you already let me know your motive. You want to know how I'm helping the owner, what the owner is doing. I can't deal with you because I don't like your motive. So that whole option thing is not what it seems, I promise. Like, especially with dating. That is the biggest misconception about me, I truly believe. People always think, oh, she's always out on dates. I am. I do go out a lot. But it's not even the kind of dates that, it'd be like me and my sister, or sometimes it's me and a guy, but it's not like how I can go out by myself. Like, I can go out to eat and happy hour all by myself. I'm really cool with that. That's the most peaceful time in my life as far as, and besides walking the lake. But people just really, that's like the biggest misconception. They just think, oh, she got options. Oh, da-da-da-da. Who you dating today? Like, what? Like, no, it's not that easy. I promise. I wish it was sometimes. Like, I wish I could just go pick a regular guy. I can't. A regular guy would bother me. Like he's not going to understand my late nights, my early mornings, my phone ringing all day, every day from guys. A regular guy is not going to understand the gift that I had, the anointing that's on my life. A regular guy is not going to be able to do it. So my options are definitely small.
Have you gotten an opportunity to travel around and do what you love to do in different surroundings other than, here in our hometown?
Yes. The first or second week of March, I went to Philly. I met people in Philly. I went to the next day, I went to Philly for a day. The next day I flew out to Florida, and I stayed in Florida for a couple days, Fort Lauderdale and then Miami. Then I turned around and left Florida and went to Louisiana. I interviewed people in Louisiana such as Mugatti, he's out in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I get to meet a lot of dope people while traveling, so I love to travel, even if it's just 3 hours away or 4 hours away, or Atlanta, 2 hours away if it's on a flight. Like I meet people everywhere I go. I meet a lot of artists, and it just works. Like my personality, my aura, I love, talking and just picking their brain, and people always allow me to pick their brain in other places, so I think that's just like cool.
What are some of the people that you got a chance to meet?
As far as big artists, I've met, I know I'm gonna miss some, oh my god. I met Cassidy, the rapper, Cassidy from Philly. Cassidy actually walked me around the mall. Like, he was so cool that he left his security inside of Cashland and walked me around the mall, like, crazy. I've met DJ Khaled, I've met Lil Yachty, I've met Lil Flip, I've met Paul Wall, I've met, who else? I know I'm missing like a lot. My brain is just freezing, but I've met a lot of artists, and that's higher up. Even the local artists in those cities, I meet great people. Like, it just kind of happens. Like, I met, I think her name is Anaya Lamise. She's out of Houston. I met her. I met Shannon. She's a comedian out in Houston. She's on tour with B. Simone. I've met so many people. Like, during this journey, you'll meet people, and I just give them my Instagram. Like, yo, we gotta stay in touch because I like you. Like, you're cool. Like, you're sweet. Like, you have a spirit like mine. Like, I've met Anthony Anderson, a comedian. I've met, is his name Todrick? I've met Todrick. I've met Sing Christina. She was on the show too, out in DC. I meet a lot of people, a lot of great people.
In the midst of your journey, did you ever think that you would get to where you are now? Did you ever think you'd be successful?
No, I still don't see it. I don't see it. I want so much more. And for you to ask that is so crazy, because I was at a conference, a small women's conference, and at the end of it, the ladies like gathered around, and it was one here, one on the other side, and they said to me, "You're so successful," and I denied it. I'm like, "No, I'm not." They're like, "You already made it." I'm like, "No, I didn't." Like, I don't see it, and I don't want to not. I don't know if God has me not seeing it for a reason, or if I'm being ungrateful, or I try to balance that out because I don't want to like be ungrateful. I want to enjoy my process and where I am, but I see so much more for me that this isn't it. But from the outside looking in, this is it for some people, but it's not it for me. So I don't really see the success that people, I mean, I know that it's attached to me because I see when I put my hands on something, I see how it grows. So I do know that, but I just don't see it at its full, like, I don't see it.
When do you think you will see it?
I don't know.
Like, if you could put it in years, how many years do you think it'll take for you to see it?
I need to start seeing it now because I've been doing this type of thing since I was 21. I'm 26. So, and I do this full time. So I really do need to take some time and just see it now because I don't want to seem unappreciative for what God has already blessed me with. So I need to start seeing it now. One thing though, I lost a friend last year, Karen Scott, and Karen used to tell me in high school. Karen told it was a guest speaker there, and he said, "I can tell you by your 5 friends where your life will go." Then he also said, some people view success differently. And he said something like, some people only think success is materialistic things. Karen looked over at me like that's jazz. Because at 21, I had a BMW, I had purchased it myself. So I do believe that materialistic factor of me has to be shifted because the materialistic stuff does not mean I'm successful. But in a black culture, that is what it means to us. Oh, the BMWs, the Benzes, the Mercedes. Someone told me recently, like, when are you gonna get another BMW? I'm like, yo, the maintenance on that thing is ridiculous. Like, I don't know if I want to do that again unless I'm in a better situation financially, you know? Like, so I kind of do need to just see it because I don't want to be unappreciative just because I don't have the big house or the big cars. Because I don't even think a lot of those people are happy. And I think success is really happiness and peace. And I do have that. So I do need to see it over the clear.
So what's your next step in your career, in your life, but what's your next step forward?
My next step would be just to keep going. Yo, keep going. To keep going is a step. Like, it's hard. Like, being your own boss, being an entrepreneur, working with others. These things are things that should be taught a little more in school because you're really not prepared for it when you get to it. Like, people don't prepare you and say, hey, it's going to be like this, this, this. They just prepare you normally for a 9 to 5. Like, so I'm going against the odds here. Like, I can't talk to a lot of people about it because they don't relate. So, I don't know. My next step is really just to keep going, honestly.
So are there any final words about just about your brand, about your business, inspirational, anything like that? Like final words that you want to say to your viewers?
I pray that my truth inspires you to deal with your truth. That's my prayer for anyone watching. I pray that my truth inspire you to deal with your truth. And one thing I can say about dealing with your truth is it's hard, but it's mandatory. It's necessary to get to your next place. So I just pray that my story and me being open, me being vulnerable, me being transparent, I pray that it inspires you to do what you were created to do. And I promise you that you guys, the thing that keeps me going with this, honestly, is the feedback that I get back off of it. That thank you, I needed this. That thank you, this was confirmation. That thank you, whatever. Like, that keeps me going. That is my reminder, hey, someone's watching. You can't afford to drop the ball now. And that's not even like the pressure. It's just, I gotta keep going. Lives are depending on it. You know? So I keep going for you, but my prayer for you is to, you know, just deal with your truth.